Hey folks, I'm here. So I was trying to play COD last night, but the bloody Steam servers were crashing. And so I was bored and I wrote a tweet. And it seems to have gone down well, so I thought I'd make a little video sharing a bit more info. So yeah, let's look at the charts. So I just wanted to write a post basically trying to calm people down, because I see a lot of people flapping. And they're just going to end up bleeding crypto through their weak little fingers. I've gone from being incredibly bearish over the last 18 months to now I'm flipping somewhat bullish. And because in the medium term and long term, there are a lot of positive things, and there are more positive things than negative things at the moment. Now, I don't know why the cycles are getting a lot of hate, but I still do believe that Bitcoin have these 4-year cycles. We have the halvings, which is the only constant in Bitcoin, and therefore we have these lumpy or chunky movements. We have basically crypto goes up for a year and a bit, down for a year and a bit, sideways accumulation choppiness zone for a year and a bit, and then rinse and repeat. And I think we've probably got one more cycle left, because we got institutions running in now. So yeah, I mentioned this in previous videos, and so the interesting thing is that, you know, we're halfway through this choppy accumulation zone, and you know, I've been calling out for a 20-30% crash or sort of correction inside this zone for a while now, and it's finally happened. We've got that 20% move down to 25. I think 20 is probably the lowest it could go, but I think it's pretty much satisfied now. And yeah, pretty much now, really, whenever you're looking at sort of midway of the accumulation zone, where it's basically up only, other than that COVID crash, but it looked like it was gonna start going up from halfway, other than that COVID crash. But yeah, we had a nice sort of 20% crash, 30% crash here, had it here, and finally we got it here. So I'm quite bullish in this. And also the interesting thing with the crashes is that they nearly always crash. Well, the peak happens in January, around 18 months after the halving. So here we had that peak around November, December time. Yeah, November, December. We had another peak here in December. We had another peak here in November 15th. So this is one where it's basically a week off, but close enough. And therefore I believe we're going to see another peak around sort of December 2025, and that's where I'm going to sell everything, and then sit back and observe for a bit and maybe short the shit out of it. But the next crash, I think, is going to be a lot less volatile, because you can see it's been 86% crash, 84% crash, 77% crash, but there's a lot more capital going into this now, so we're probably only looking at a 50 to 65% crash potentially, something like that, maybe. Yeah, I guess it could be something like a run up to, I don't know, 200-ish K, and then a crash back down to 100K, something like that. And yeah, so I guess it could be something a bit like that. It's just my opinion, and then obviously running into the next halving again. So they're just my 2 pennies on that. Now also, when we look at global market cap, it's been a retail market from day one, and we managed to peak crypto at $2.83 trillion. That's just incredible. And obviously we've had a bit of a subsidence down to a trillion. But what do you think institutions are going to do? BlackRock, Fidelity, or Grayscale, all of these, like all of the spot ETFs that are trying to come online at the moment. Like, imagine Michael Saylor and MicroStrategies, but times 100, because there's going to be a lot more companies, you know, allocating funds into Bitcoin once the ETFs are launched. So I see $10 trillion market cap as like an absolute minimum. Now I don't know when. I'd like to think before 2025, as in December 2025, but we'll see. Institutional money, going back to this, is just going to soften and reduce the volatility of Bitcoin, and we're going to start seeing that sort of plateauing coming out. So yeah, I see market cap really rocketing up over the next few years. And that's really just going to balloon lots of good blue chip crypto. Obviously Bitcoin's going to do well. I think Ethereum is going to do incredibly well. It's very deflationary now, so the tokenomics are good there. Casper has epic tokenomics. It's basically Bitcoin but better, in my opinion. Been in that for a while now, and yeah, and also, like, don't you think, I mean, there's all sorts of articles about BlackRock, but the fact that they're in, it's just legitimized the whole crypto industry. It's going to be a permanent global asset, and it's just massively de-risked your portfolio. So they're going to be here for a while. Also the issuance, so like 90, so if you look here, circulating supply, if you want to do the maths, it's simply, you just do that divided by 21 million, 625 divided by 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 100. So there's 92.69% of the Bitcoin supply already floating, which means the remaining 7.3% of Bitcoin is going to be delivered over the next, well, until 2140, which is the last mined Bitcoin. So that's about 117, that is 117 years to get the remaining 7.3%. So we're going to have the biggest supply shock human finance has ever seen, with this dwindling emissions and literally gargantuan capital about to flow into this space. So yeah, also if we look at the exchanges, they've got a lot less crypto now than they used to. So obviously FTX blowing up and Celsius and all these other exchanges blowing up, I've always said it's a good thing, because it's just another reminder that not your keys, not your crypto. I used to be a gold and silver bullion dealer, like about a decade ago, and I had a saying, if you can't hold it, you don't own it, because people are buying paper gold and silver, and I'm like, you're gonna lose it. So yeah, not your keys, not your crypto. And so this is Bitcoin net position change, and you can see massive outflows of Bitcoin, massive outflows, and that typically is normally a good indicator that we're about to enter a bull market at some point. If we look at the percentage, I'll probably put it here. So in terms of, yeah, this is the percentage, so you can see that the percentage has dropped from about 17.5% down to 11. So yeah, it's a big percentage drop from there to there. And if we look at, what is it, the total in terms of how many Bitcoin it had, it peaked at about, what was it, 3.1 million Bitcoin, and now it's only down to sort of 2 point something. So that's good. And yeah, so exchanges are just going to have a lot less influence in the price. And also, we've got this mysterious Bitcoin wallet that has basically accumulated about $3 billion worth of Bitcoin in 3 or 4 months. Now, no one knows who it is. I suspect it's BlackRock. I hear rumors that it's probably Robinhood, but I think there's more likelihood that it's BlackRock. I agree with this Twitter account. It just seems uncanny. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah. So basically, there's going to be more wallets like this just coming in. And also, talking about, I guess, the retail market, etc., is that we are a lot more informed. So the average crypto dabbler investor now, here in 2023, is way more switched on than the average crypto investor in the last cycle, the one in 2017 and before. Like, most people are, I would say more people are aware of tokenomics and what's good, what's bad than before. So yeah, a lot of people shit on the retail market and that, you know, it's the dumb money, and to a large extent it is, but the dumb money is getting less dumb, if that makes sense. So however, when you look at sort of wallets and stuff like that, so if you just look at something like this, we had a bit of a sell-off in, let's say, in Casper over the last day or so. If we just go back to this, so we've had this bit of a sell-off, and then you can look at the wallet addresses, and you can see a lot of the dumb money is panicking. So in the last 24 hours, shrimps shat their pants. So did a load of fish and sharks, and that's the interesting one. So yeah, it's interesting. Just because someone's got a lot of money in the market doesn't necessarily mean that they're a smart, sophisticated investor. But yeah, you see this across the board. Like I like having a look at GMX analytics, or any analytics really that is open. But yeah, it's interesting. But unfortunately, traders do always end up losing more than they win. So yeah, I digress. And I think, Twitter is awesome. This is like the digital town square, which is uncensored, all that sort of stuff. You can get a lot of really good information, which CNN, all that sort of stuff, just won't ever show you. And after all, a lot of these journalists are probably just trawling through. Sorry, I got distracted by Jennifer Aniston there. They're just probably trawling Twitter anyway for articles. So, but yeah, and then I guess the last thing, let's get it on something else. The last thing which looks, I think, quite promising is that there will be certain sectors which just absolutely rocket. I'm still waiting for a proper game, like a proper crypto game to explode. Like, so far, crypto gaming has been really pants. They've been 2D rubbish games. Like, when is COD gonna, cryptify itself up? Like in COD, you have XP. Well, that XP could easily be a crypto. Obviously, you'd have to look at the tokenomics so it doesn't end up like SLP for the Axie world, because the problem with crypto gaming tokenomics is that if you have a token which you earn, people are just going to sell that forever. And this is why I predicted SLP to crash, because yeah, there we go. This is the reward token in Axie Infinity. Of course it's going to crash, because people earn it, they play the game, they spend hours doing it, they earn it, and then they're going to dump it straight away. There's no buy vector involved with SLP. So gaming companies, whoever you are, if you're watching this, probably not, you just got to make sure that there is a good buy vector to your reward token. So yeah, but either way, if we just get rid of this, I think gaming's going to do very well, and it's the biggest growing sector of sports these days, as in esports. There's more people that watch esport than football, so it's absolutely crazy. So you could see, probably best part of 300 million to 1 billion people just flowing into crypto, so long as someone like Activision or whatever just does it properly. And yeah, I think real world asset tokenization is something that I've been harping on for absolutely forever. I've got endless videos on YouTube about this, and the thing that I just cannot wait to see is when the real estate is completely tokenized, because I think it's completely archaic that if you have a house, you basically have one option: you either sell all of it or you don't. And then when you sell it, there's endless sort of fees, middlemen, and months to buy or sell a property. So why not tokenize your house? Why can't you just treat it like a company, like a limited company, and chop it up into however many shares you want? So with a limited company, like, you can have as many shares as you want, and so there should be, like, whether it's so in the UK, Rightmove is the place to go to buy or sell a house. I don't know what it is in America or whatever, but Gumtree, I don't know. But there's going to be, an equivalent. So why can't you just chop up your house into 1,000 units or 1,000 tokens and sell it on digital NFT Rightmove? And the beautiful thing is with this is that when you do that, it's most likely going to come with, just like with a company, a shag. So with a shareholders agreement, you have all of the terms for whoever owns the shares of this house, and there will be a nice sweet spot. So basically, you could, let's say it's 25-ish%, you could own 25% of this house and have all of the benefits of being a homeowner, but obviously you haven't had to stump up the other 75%. So then all of a sudden, let's say this house is £500,000. Well, that could be out of reach for a lot of people, but oh bloody hell, I can't do maths. What's 500 grand times 0.25? 125, yeah. So, however, if all of a sudden, you could effectively have all the benefits of home ownership and only buy 25%, that means you only need to basically find 125k, which means then hopefully you can just put a 10% mortgage down, 10% deposit down, and then your mortgage is going to be a lot less, isn't it? And it's going to make home ownership way more affordable. And so it doesn't have to be the case of whether are you a buyer or a renter, because there's pros and cons on both sides. Whereas this hybrid one is just a much more efficient way, and over time, efficiency trumps everything else. That's why you have a downward spiral in cost, because everything goes down to gross marginal cost. If you look at the internet right now, the internet is hundreds of trillions of dollars, or hundreds of billions, no, trillions of dollars, sorry, of R&D. It used to be a weapon. Scientists, physicists used to use it to combat, or to talk to each other, but it was then a weapon before we had it. But now, how much does it cost to get on the internet? £30 a month, whatever your broadband fee is, and that's gross marginal cost. Everything tech always spirals down to gross marginal cost, and so eventually the world of property is going to catch up, and I cannot wait. So whoever's going to do crypto right move and tokenize houses up, and all of the surveyancing, the fees, the contracts, that will all just be on a smart contract. And so you'll be able to buy a house in minutes, just like you're buying a stock or a crypto. So that has to be the way forward. And if that is nailed, that same tech applies to everything: stocks, property, fine art, fine wine. Like, the Mona Lisa, that's, I don't know, what, $100 million? You either buy all of it or you don't. Or how about we fractionalize the Mona Lisa and the world can own it? So I think the world as we know it will be tokenized. Literally everything will be tokenized. So I think that's the real future of crypto. So, yeah, as I said on my tweet, the medium to long term looks rosy as my pink Asian cheeks when I drink alcohol. But in the short term, I really wouldn't put it past BlackRock to orchestrate one more little tree shake. So that's that. And completely non-crypto, I have a thing called Geek Club, and I play COD every night, and we play Resurgence. And ages ago, I got this mug chiseled out, and it says Geek Club COD Legend 20 plus kill only farms, because that's where we go on Ashika Island to farms. And it's been sat in this box behind me for months. None of us has been able to get 20 kills, but finally, woohoo! I got 21 kills on Ashika. Happy with that. That's my little guilty pleasure. Anyway, that probably meant nothing to 99% of you, but hey ho, I'm happy. Right, see you later, folks. Bye.